Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first LinkedIn Live. I'm Angie Bargner, SVP of Business Operations here at Veris Insights, and with me today, I have Dr. Chelsea Chine, our Head of Research Strategy. We're thrilled that you could join us as we kick off an exclusive look at our new research initiative, Solving the Application Avalanche. First, Chelsea and I would love to spend a few minutes with all of you looking at the current state and how we got here. And then Chelsea's going to give us an inside look at what our research team is working on over the next few months.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to share what our research team has been working on, especially since this topic impacts every recruiting team out there, from early career hiring to enterprise-level talent acquisition. Over the last 6 months, we've spoken with hundreds of early career leaders and analyzed thousands of benchmarking data points to understand a phenomenon we're calling the application avalanche. Simply put, recruiting teams are drowning in an unprecedented volume of applications, thanks in large part to Gen AI tools that make it effortless to apply broadly.
This is really exciting, Chelsea. I'd be curious to hear what's showing up in our research team in these interviews.
Absolutely. A candidate recently bragged to me, and I quote, "I easily applied to 200 jobs in an hour. It was amazing." My question, amazing to whom? Typically, not our recruiting teams love to then sort through these applications. And it's not just about volume. The very nature of these applications is shifting. More AI-generated resumes, cover letters that all look the same, and then even fraud is harder to detect. This is all culminating in a notable decline in talent quality. So we've designed the study to deeply understand the root causes and, most importantly, to develop actionable solutions.
And I'm really glad that you're mentioning the root causes, Chelsea. And I know that you all are still very early in the findings, but what are you seeing so far as those sub challenges in the movement?
We're actually seeing 3 compounding challenges contributing to the application avalanche. What seems like just a volume problem is actually a layered, compounding set of forces driven by Gen AI, fewer requisitions, and rising applicant expectations. The first is surging application volume. Early career teams are reporting a 179% increase in applications for full-time roles since 2023. The second is uncertainty in selection. AI templates are flattening candidate differentiation. The use of generative AI tools to tailor resumes is making top-of-funnel identification of exceptional talent essentially guesswork. As a result, we're seeing a 66% drop in full-time applicant pass-through rate to first interviews. And finally, detecting and preventing candidate fraud. Sophisticated misrepresentation is on the rise, infusing even more uncertainty into every stage of decision-making. These 3 root causes are all manifestations of the application avalanche. Every org will likely feel the impact of this. And our data is showing that's not just a tactical strain, but truly causing detriment to talent quality and the ROI of early career programs.
Absolutely. And I actually want us to dive a little bit deeper there, Chelsea. Can you share with us a little bit more on what you mean by that? What are the risks of not addressing this issue?
Of course. So while the volume is the headline, there are real costs that go far beyond simply more resumes to read. One way we're thinking about this is time stolen, not saved. Recruiting teams are busy, and this onslaught is not making anyone's lives easier. Recruiters spend hours triaging hundreds of similar profiles, and this is time stolen from building authentic candidate relationships, partnering with hiring managers, and becoming true talent advisors. A less obvious impact is trust erosion. When every resume looks AI polished, top talent gets buried under uniformed applications. Teams miss genuine high potentials because they all look good on paper. And finally, there's a more general erosion in the confidence of candidate selection. As volumes overwhelm, leaders begin to doubt, are we hiring the best or just whoever applied first? That uncertainty becomes an organizational liability.
Absolutely. And that's such a helpful frame up. And I know you probably saw me nodding my head a lot over that last bit, because I know that I'm seeing this within our own organization as well. As our SVP of People Operations, my team is responsible for bringing the right people into our organization. And it's a responsibility that we feel deeply, especially given the type of work and the type of research that we do here at Veris Insights. It's definitely gotten more challenging. And while we've tried to adapt our own practices, even at the low volume that we do hire, it is really hard when every candidate, for example, uses the same AI prompts. It's nearly impossible to identify who's truly exceptional. I know I was talking to one of my recruiters earlier this week, and they noted every cover letter is reading like a carbon copy, sometimes word for word. And we can't actually tell who's genuinely passionate and interested in our organization and the roles we have available versus who's just simply AI prompting. So this conformity is definitely flattening our talent pools, and it does risk letting top performers slip through the cracks. And that's really concerning for us.
And that actually highlights another challenge and perhaps the most alarming trend, which is candidate fraud. From inflated achievements to plagiarized portfolios, AI gives bad actors new tools.
Yeah.
Many recruiters are sharing that they're often not catching fraud until after on-site interviews, wasting weeks of everyone's time. And in worst case, this isn't detected until day one of the role, when the person you hired just isn't the person who showed up.
And so, what I'm really hearing is that these challenges are really compounding at every level. So, recruiter burnout under volume and potentially missing top talent within all that noise that's going on. Hiring managers lose confidence in the process and then are unhappy with quality of hire. And then early career leaders are scrambling to figure out how to optimize not only processes, but also to integrate tech to combat that overwhelm and detect fraud. Chelsea, again, I know you mentioned that we're just kicking off this research project, but can you tell us where we are in the project and what's to come?
Absolutely. It's always our number one mission to first find and then to deploy, deeply understand, and develop solutions for the most challenging, pervasive issues in early careers. Back in mid 2024, we started tracking this trend of rising application volumes and interviewing our member pool of 280 plus of the most innovative leaders in university recruiting. And time again, we kept hearing, we're seeing more fraud. Our applicant pools are out of control. How are other teams dealing with this? Underscoring these worries was a singular theme. How can I know, I mean really know, that I'm bringing the right people into our organization? So we set out to deeply understand the challenge and craft a suite of solutions to solve it. Here's a taste of what's coming. First, a deep dive into intervention strategies to take back control and develop more sustainable pipelines of high quality talent. A brief spoiler, what we found is 3 places for intervention for volume. The first is requisition management. This means getting ahead of the volume by tightening top of funnel. Second is screening. Here, the goal is using automated tools to quickly elevate the most promising candidates while keeping processes compliant and consistent. And the third is reconsidering broader sourcing strategy. This is about building high ROI pipelines and cutting back on low conversion channels that just add noise. Together, these 3 interventions can help transform an overwhelming flood of applicants into a manageable, high-quality talent pool. Next, we are releasing resources and tools to better assess candidate quality. This includes guidance on candidate profiling and assessment strategy by stage. Finally, at the end of the summer, we will release a playbook for combating AI-fueled fraud, including a threat matrix by funnel stage, detection tactics, and vendor lists. Stay tuned, we'll share early pilot results in our next update.
That is all really exciting. So, if folks want to follow the project and get future updates, how can they do that?
If folks on the line are interested in following the project and gaining early access to future solutions as they come out, we've made it simple to opt in. First, my team will send a link in the chat now where people can opt in for updates. Also, we're still collecting data and case studies. There's a spot on that same link to opt in to share data and insights to the project. This is a great way not just to track the work, but truly inform it. Additionally, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I post weekly about the latest releases, and I'm always looking to start a conversation on the trends and challenges you're seeing day to day. We'll also host a deep dive webinar the first week of August, where we'll walk through real-world implementations and early ROI metrics. You can register at the link being shared in the chat now to save your seat.
Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. We're just beginning to unpack the application avalanche, but with your insights and our shared research, we're in a really great position to navigate it together.
Absolutely. Don't forget to opt in for updates, and I'll see you at the webinar next month.
Have a fantastic day, everyone. We hope you tune in next time. And don't forget to follow us and Chelsea on LinkedIn to stay on top of what's ahead for Application Avalanche and our other 2025 topics.